So far in this series, we have looked at the movement of Venus using the heliocentric reality. So we have Sun in the center, the Earth orbiting the Sun. We turned on the zodiac and then the line of sights of the Sun and Venus. This is the reality, and in this model we looked at the retrograde movement of Venus, the pentagram of Venus, morning star, evening star, based on elongation, all of them in great detail. From this video onwards, I'm going to shift the focus and I'm going to take you back in time. I want to take you into the minds of the ancient Hindu astronomers of the Siddhantic period, the people who composed Surya Siddhanta. Now remember that the Surya Siddhanta believed that the Earth is in the center of Brahmāṇda and the Sun goes around the Earth, and so does Venus, because it is a geocentric model. So I need to now move from this heliocentric model to the ancient geocentric model and see what happens to the movement of Venus. So I'm going to do that switch now to a geocentric model. So now the Earth is in the center and Sun is going around the Earth. It's an apparent movement, but in the geocentric model, they thought in the ancient Siddhantic period that this was the real movement of the Sun. But now if I bring on the zodiac, you see the zodiac seems absolutely fixed because the Earth is not moving. So the zodiac is not moving around, it's fixed. Very easy to read, nice, clean on the eye. This is indeed what we observe from the surface of the Earth. And if I bring on the line of sight of the Sun, you see the Sun is moving at a mean speed of 0.9856 degrees every day. I continue to assume a circular orbit, not elliptical orbits. So this is the mean speed, not the real speed. Now what happens if I bring in Venus? I'm going to reset this back to day 0 and turn on the line of sight of Venus. So here is Shukra. Now immediately something should strike you. You should be able to notice that Shukra is orbiting Bhugola. But this is not correct. This is not the reality. You know that reality, Shukra is orbiting Surya, not Bhugola. But the ancient Hindu astronomers believed that Shukra is orbiting Bhugola. Number one, the Earth is in the center of Brahmāṇda, and number two, Shukra and all the grahas are orbiting Bhugola. Now, in case you have a doubt whether this is indeed what is said in the Surya Siddhanta, I will actually take you and show you the relevant shlokas, English translation of the Surya Siddhanta. So in chapter 12, Bhugoladhyaya of Surya Siddhanta, shloka number 29 says, this Brahmāṇda, the egg created by Brahma, is hollow. Within it is the universe consisting of earth, sky, etc. It has the form of a sphere, like a receptacle made of a pair of cauldrons. So he is describing a celestial sphere. So far so good. Now you come to verse 32, and here is the dynamite. Quite in the middle of the egg, Brahmāṇda, the Bhugola stands in the ether, bearing the supreme might of Brahma, which is of the nature of self-supporting force. So he is clearly saying Bhugola stands in the middle of the Brahmāṇda, geocentric. It's also interesting to see he mentions that it is of self-supporting force. That means the Earth does not have any support. It's standing in the middle of Brahmāṇda. It is unsupported. Why? Because it's bearing the supreme might of Brahma. So by Brahma's power, it's able to just be suspended in space. They are explicitly saying this because the ancient tradition was that there are 8 elephants supporting the Earth, Ashtadiggaja. And they are in turn standing on the back of a tortoise, Kurma. But the Siddhantic astronomers have moved away from that vision, and they are clearly saying that Earth is standing, it is self-supporting. Nothing is supporting the earth. Now you come to verse 30. A circle within the Brahmāṇda is styled the orbit of the ether. Within that is the revolution of the asterisms. This is a diurnal revolution, the daily rising and setting. And I have talked about it, Nakshatra Horatra. And likewise, in order, one below the other, revolve the order Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon. So Saturn is far away from the Earth, Moon is closest to the Earth, and this is the order of all the others. And below in succession, the Siddha, the Vidyadharas, and the clouds. Now, if you look at this order, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, absolutely fine, no problem at all. Moon is also the closest to the Earth. In fact, it indeed orbits the Earth, no problem at all. But these three, the Sun, Venus, and Mercury, the order in which they are at any point in time keeps changing. Because when Venus or Mercury is in inferior conjunction, it's closer to the Earth than the Sun. Sun is far away. But if either of them is in superior conjunction, then Sun is closer to the Earth, Venus or Mars is far away. So the order keeps changing. But the Surya Siddhanta has laid down this order: Sun, Venus, Mercury, and then the Moon. So Sun is outer, Venus is inner, and that's exactly what I am showing you here. This is the Sun's orbit, and this is Shukra's orbit. So this orbit which they are talking about is clearly not correct. It is wrong, because the real orbit is Shukra is orbiting Surya. So what exactly is going on here? If they have such a wrong orbital assumption, will their mathematics work out right? But here's the point. You see, right now, as in the heliocentric case, you will have a retrograde movement in Tula. There you go. It's going backwards, and at the same time, it's going to cross over from evening star to morning star. So these ideas of retrograde motion, morning star, evening star are still working in this model, even though this orbit is clearly wrong. So I'm going to speed this up. Everything works in this model exactly as it worked in the heliocentric model, in spite of the wrong orbit, in spite of the wrong assumption that Bhugola is in the center. So there is some magic going on here. You will see soon the second retrograde movement will happen here. There. Second retrograde movement happened. All 5 retrograde movements will happen, and I will even show you the pentagram of Venus with the wrong orbits. And morning star, evening star happening with absolute regularity, exactly as it happened in my previous heliocentric model. I'm waiting for the third retrograde movement, which is going to happen anytime there. There you go. That is then third retrograde movement. The fourth has to happen here, and the fifth one has to happen on this side. Then you have all 5 retrograde movements covering the space around Bhugola. So how is this magic happening? So here is the 4th retrograde movement. And as I mentioned, morning star, evening star keeps switching. Morning to evening star takes a long time. Evening to morning star happens during retrograde movement. One nice clean sweep. Let's wait for the 5th one now. Should happen somewhere here. There. And during retrograde movement, it switched over and became morning star. And now that all these 5 are done, the 6th one is going to repeat in Tula, and it will be slightly shifted. So let's confirm that it indeed gets slightly shifted. It should start here, not here. So I'm waiting for the next retrograde movement, and there you go. It started from there and extends further beyond. And here is the pentagram of Venus, with a slightly shifting at the end when the next cycle starts. So everything is happening even though this orbit is fundamentally wrong. So what is going on here? So let me stop this for a moment. I will reset this back to day 0. So I'm going to give you a clue right now as to what is going on and explain it in greater detail in subsequent videos. So this orbit cannot be correct because this is not what's really happening. What is really happening is this. This red circle is the real orbit of Venus, of Shukra. And this X which is showing here, this is the real position of Shukra. But Surya Siddhanta and ancient Hindu astronomers moved that position to here because this is the order in which the orbits are supposed to be. But note that the real position and what the Hindu astronomers calculated is shifted from here to here, but they are both on the same line of sight. Which means both of them right now on day 0 are at the same elongation of 36.5153 degrees. And both of them are in the same ecliptic longitude of Mithuna, 29.7653 degrees. And as time passes, they continue to be on the same line of sight. This is the crux of the matter. This is the magic which ensures that even though this orbit is not correct, the results that we are interested in, things like elongation and the ecliptic longitude of Shukra, continue to be absolutely perfect. We will look at this in greater detail in succeeding videos.